gonna do the driving portion. We've already told you about the exterior, the interior. Now, what is this Z06 like to drive? And since it's my car, I'm gonna let Calvin kind of lead this to give you kind of the perspective of that you would have, you know, if you were first driving it, like a first kind of review kind of thing. So I'm gonna let Calvin drive and let him kind of lead, and I'll just add in because I drive it every day, so I can add in wherever I need to, whatever. So I'll let Calvin take it away.
So the first thing I noticed just coming out of that parking lot is that this is definitely a pure sports car. I hear every single like rock, everything that hits like the bottom of this car.
Right.
But it's smooth, like coming around. I mean, I'm coming around some curves now. A little bit of gas. Coming around some curves now, it's smooth. Like I was telling you the first time I drove it, I do feel like the steering is more direct than I expected it to be. Like I didn't have high hopes for the steering in this car. I kind of figured, you know, it's an American car. They finally got the numbers part of it right, and they got a few other things right, but I didn't expect it to have a good steering feel. And it doesn't have a great steering feel, but it's definitely better than you would expect from an American car.
Right.
Like the refinement is a whole lot better in this than it was in the C6. It's like the steering is good. Like it doesn't load up as much as I want it to, which may just be because I'm only doing about 50 around this curve. But the steering feels good. We know the power is there. Like the power is so much that it's like you're kind of scared to go on the throttle too much, because it's like you know what's gonna happen as soon as you go to that throttle. Like we know what's gonna happen. You're going to spin the tires and you just might die. You're probably gonna die.
If you take traction control, if you take all the nannies off on this car, what you think gonna happen? How long you think it's gonna last if you take all the nannies off?
10 seconds, dude. Because think about it, like right here, if I was to hit this car right now with traction control on in eco mode, if I was to nail this car right now, I would sit here and spin. In eco mode. Which, by the way, we need to take that off.
Yeah, it's very terrifying. I can attest to that too, owning the car, especially when I first started driving it. It is not confidence inspiring as far as the throttle. Like it's like super nerve wracking. You feel like you're gonna die.
Cause it's just so much power. I think that's the biggest thing. There's a learning curve with this type of car. To go from, you went from an Audi with the tune, what, 450 horsepower? And the car weighed like, what, 4,100 pounds. This weighs 35? 3,600 pounds. And has 650. It's a learning curve. Like, I don't think it's the car's fault. I think it's just, we're not used to driving this type of power every day. Cause, I mean, like, people like Randy Popes, I mean, who do this for a living, they can handle it. The average cat, you're gonna die.
But if you watch the Motor Trend, even Randy Popes was like, whoa, sometimes.
Yeah.
He was like, because think about it, that CLS that's tuned has just as much power, but I bet it didn't feel as
very true.
Scary.
That's very true.
And a Hellcat has just as much power, but a Hellcat doesn't feel as scary, does it?
Pretty close.
No.
Pretty close. The Hellcat, you know, the Hellcat gets less traction than this car, so it's like even worse. But the handling of this car is like, the Hellcat can't touch it, like if it wanted to. Right. It's not even close. But I don't think Hellcat was going for that. You can definitely feel every single thing in the road. But one thing I do like about it is that you know you always have the power for any maneuver you want to make. Like there is never a time where you need to merge into a lane and you can't do it. No one can stop you from doing whatever you want. The only thing that can stop you is your own fear. The only thing that can stop you in this car is like being afraid of, like, if I floor it, I might die.
Any gear, any speed, where you can be going 110. If you hit this thing,
yep. It's so much power. Like you'll lose traction at highway speeds. I remember it when we drove it,
right.
Especially because it's cold out right now. You will lose traction at highway speed.
Right.
Let's give it a little gas here. See, I already lost traction just then. You felt that? It is fun though. It is fun.
That's a cool feeling, dog.
It's a very cool feeling. I gotta give it that. I would load it up a little better that time. I guess because I'm going a little faster now.
Yeah.
Boy, be handling these curves, boy. Ooh, that thing be handling them curves. It's so planted. It's so planted. There's no body roll. It's so much grip. It came around there perfectly. Only thing I wish is the steering was a little bit better. Just a little bit. Not even a whole lot better. Just a little bit better. Like a dollop more steering. Just a dollop.
A dollop of steering?
A dollop of steering. That's all I want. It's just a little bit. I don't want it to handle like, you know, I feel like it needs to retain a little bit of that American muscle feel, and that it's a little bit loose, and that it scares you a little bit, but I want it to be a little bit more refined, just a little bit.
I think that the combination of, you know, just being so low to the ground, so wide, those huge tires, those tires make a big difference. Yeah. Those 235s, wonder if that makes a big difference. Because
Probably
it's
so.
gripping like this now.
Well, you gotta drive in the summertime though. You gotta
Oh,
get them
yeah.
heated up, and you know, you need to really feel them at their full potential. 'Cause when they're colder, probably worse than this.
Yeah.
But I would say super sports, like though they're a good tire, super sports are like, you know, sometimes struggle on like M3s to get traction. So imagine trying to get like hook up with a Z06 with all the power this thing has. Cup 2s are gonna got that work cut out for them, that's for sure.
Right.
I mean, this U can go back up there because that was a pretty good road.
So our handling is let's give everything a score. So 1 out of 10. Let's go handling.
The handling itself, 10. Handles very well. The steering feel 6, but the handling itself is a 10.
Okay.
Only mark I would give against the handling has to do with the powertrain because there's so much power. You could never fully exploit this car on the street.
Right.
Like, you know how in my M3, I can come out of a curve full throttle and I'm like,
Yeah. Foot to the floor.
yeah, you're not coming out of anywhere full throttle in this car.
Nope.
That's the only thing I would say I don't like about the way this car feels driving. I can't exploit all of it. I just can't. Because as soon as I put my foot down, I'm out of traction.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, I'm out of traction. So that's the only thing I will say against the handling is that I can't come out of a curve as hard as I want to. And that may just be my driving skill.
Right.
Which I consider myself a pretty decent driver, so.
On the street, if you come anywhere near the limits of this car, either you or someone around you is going to get injured or
Yep.
you're going to jail.
Yep.
One of the two things, I put up 3 fingers, not gonna talk about that. One of those two things is going to happen.
Yep.
You just can't get to the limits. You just can't do it.
Nope. And that's the only issue I have with cars like this is that I can't get to the limit of it. But you can do that. You can do that though.
Tell them about that
That
upshift.
braking is amazing too. I love the way the upshift sound. Yeah, the upshift like when you hit it and you let it hit red line and upshift into that gear, it sounds angry. Like it's like a like right at the end of it. It's like it spit out something.
Yep.
It's like the car is like, all right, nigga, let's go.
Right.
The car is very angry and it's like very aggressive, but still kind of tame at the same time. I like the fact that when I'm not on it, it's comfortable.
Oh yeah.
Like it's not like touchy. The steering, the pedal is not touchy. Was that a rev match downshift I just heard?
Yeah. How'd you do that?
I don't know why. I was just stopping.
Dude, that was awesome. How you did that, nigga?
I don't know. It was a
Oh,
rev match
that's
downshift. It sounded super good though.
Shoot.
Yeah, I didn't touch the paddles. I haven't touched the paddles yet. Which, by the way, I want to point that out too, because I always say that about certain transmissions. Like my dual clutch in my M3 is horribly programmed in automatic mode. This is actually pretty good. I'm gonna take it out on 19. But this is actually pretty. She's looking at the car. You see her?
Yeah.
That little girl.
I wish it was mountable and dismountable.
She's like in a daze. But yeah, like when you're driving it, like it's a nice car to drive around in. Like as a young guy, I'm 24, Dee's 23. At this age, we don't care about comfort that much. So this is cool. Like if you're at the point where you're 23, 24, 25, and you can afford a car like this, there's really no reason that the comfort would not be a reason not to get it. Like it sits low. You have to pretty much fall into it and roll out of it.
Right.
But you know, we're 24. Who gives a crap? You know what I'm saying? We don't care. We're not trying to be super comfortable. We don't care about the height. We don't have bad knees, bad backs. Just get in the thing and ride out.
Like I don't want to be that cat that's old in a vet. Like this
Yeah.
is not the car for when you're 70, dog.
Yeah.
Can you imagine getting in and out of this and you 70?
Yeah, you got
dog?
bad knees and
Man,
stuff.
nah, but your hips
Nah.
bad, your joints.
Nah, because even now, like imagine like leaving the gym and hopping in here. Like you done had a good leg
Oh, it's
day.
horrible. I've done it before.
Well, you're not, you're not getting in
Man,
here, bro. I know a dude. The first dude I met that had a Z06, he was gym rat. I used to work out with him at Tony's. He was like, dude, I do not drive my Z06 to the gym anymore. He's like, I did it one time, and I could not get back in the freaking car after the gym thing was over. And I will say that it sits low. Like pictures don't do it justice. This joint sits low. It's on, like you feel like you literally just drop down to the ground when you sit down. And I'm 5'3", and I feel like I'm dropping to the ground when I sit down.
And this is on the highest stock setting.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna drop it down to the lower setting.
There are people lower than this. By the way, that heads up display is pretty dope.
Oh yeah, it's actually dope.
One thing I don't like I want to like this, but I don't. I don't like the digital tachometer. I wish that was. I like the digital speed because I don't feel like analog one would keep up. But I don't like the digital tachometer because I feel like it's kind of laggy.
Okay. Handling, we talked about that. Now acceleration. Obviously, I mean, I'm just gonna ask, what do you give it 1 to 10?
I'm gonna give it an 8 because Because if you get in like a Turbo S, which will accelerate just as fast as this, you can do it all day and be fine.
Right.
So I will drive, but you can do it all day and be fine. Even there's a cop behind us. Even a McLaren, you can get into a McLaren that's, I think McLaren's a rear wheel drive, right?
Right.
I've never driven one, but I'd be willing to bet you could drive a McLaren and go all out and not be as terrified as you are in this car.
Well, the McLaren's so much lighter. They're like super light. Police following us.
There's a cop behind us. We got 12 behind us.
Dang, and my tag is expired.
You don't like you tripping though. I do like it though. I will say this, I like it more than I want to.
Really?
I like it a lot more than I want to. I'm not an American car guy fan. Like, I'm not an American car fan at all. I respect them, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm always the type that's like, you know, American cars are the best for the money. I will tell you that every day, all day, every day. But I am not an American car fan because of the lack of refinement. However, the lack of refinement all melts away when you drive this car because it's just so much fun. It's just so good.
And it looks so good.
Yeah, it's just man, I'm telling you, this is one of the best looking cars on the road, period. Point blank, period, dog. Anybody who disagrees is a hater. If you disagree with this car being the best looking car on the road, one of the best looking cars on the road, you are a hater. I don't care what you say.
Especially the black on red.
Yes.
The black on red pulling up at night kills the game, though.
Yep.
Killing the game.
Yep. I put it like this, and you guys know, like I said, I've said this several times, you know I'm a German car fanatic. If I was gonna go American, this would be at the top of my list. This or a ZL1 would be at the top of my list. Just because this looks, cop is gone. This looks so good, and it does everything so well. Like, you cannot deny the fact that this is a good car. The numbers have proven that this is a good car. You can drive it and feel that it's a good car. Only issue you have is that it's not as refined as the German stuff. But some people don't want that. Some people want that raw feeling.
And not to be something that you gotta take into consideration, it costs so much less. I mean, yeah, they're better, but you're gonna pay twice as much. $90,000, nothing to scoff at. You're gonna have to pay $90,000 more dollars to get a Turbo S.
Yep.
If not more than that.
Yeah.
You know?
But see, my thing with that, and I agree with you, don't get me wrong, but my only argument to that is, because the power of this car is so unusable, how fast do I need to go before the cutoff where that doesn't matter? Like, you know what I'm saying? I can get a C63 for the same price as this, right? Yeah. That's usable power. I can use that on the street and still kind of scare the crap out of myself sometimes. Whereas this, I'm always scaring the crap out of myself, and I don't get the interior. I don't get the looks. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people like to point out, and I agree with you now, don't get me wrong, a lot of people like to point out that the Z06 can beat this, and it can beat that, and it can beat this. This is true. But can you get your behind in here and do it? You know what I mean? Can you get in here right now, get in this car, and beat somebody around the track that has even a Carrera S? Not even like a GT3. Take somebody who has a Carrera S, and you beat them in the Z06. Can you do it?
You stand no chance. Like, any novice driver, or even like somewhat good driver, just hop into the Z06. You're not gonna be able to use the power unless you're just super skilled.
Yep.
I'm talking about super skilled. Yep. Like, yeah, Randy Pokes set that time.
Yep.
But you're not gonna go anywhere near it.
Yep.
Whereas if you got into, like, let's say a GTR, you could probably blow the doors off this thing. You know what I'm saying? Because the GTR is all-wheel drive. It's so much easier to use the power.
Yep.
So that definitely is something to factor. But
I would say it's something to factor.
That also makes it less fun. So it's like a catch-22. Which one do you want? You know what I'm saying?
I'd rather not die.
So you'd rather have a GTR?
I don't want a GTR, but I'm saying, like, maybe something in the middle of the two. Like, a GTR pretty much drives itself. The Z06 pretty much wants to kill you. Maybe do something in the middle of the two, like Carrera S.
Okay. And I guess the price isn't that far off.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. A new Carrera S is like 120, 130.
That is very true.
That's far off. 50 grand is nothing to scoff at.
Okay, well, M3, C63. Because I would be willing to bet.
The M3 can walk by this?
Oh yeah. But I would be willing to bet if you take the same novice driver, give him an F80, and give him this, that time's gonna be faster than an F80.
But most people aren't gonna.
But and that's the thing. That's what I don't like. That's why I don't like per se that argument about the Z06. Sometimes, like, I get it. You have to have a standard for each car. Like, you have to put your best foot forward in each car and show what it is capable of. But in the real world, I hate when people bring that argument up. Will it beat that around a Nürburgring? Can you do it? know what I'm saying? Because you're the one driving the car.
And when are you gonna be on the Nürburgring or any track?
Like stop.
How many of y'all really go to the track?
Right.
Comment below if you really go to the track. If you've been to the track this year, then comment below. I bet it'll be like 10 people.
Right. And 5 of those will be lying.
Right. So
that's what I'm saying. So stop. The argument about the track thing, while I get it, that can't be your only argument for the car. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be like, if you like the car, I get it. I love the car. Like if you just like it because it's fast and looks good, say that. But don't freaking come over here and be like, oh, it gets this lap time. Nigga, you don't even go to the track.
Right. But for the purposes of this review, for the masses of people who would be looking at this car, gonna be probably a younger person. No, but a lot of old people, a lot of older cats end up in this car.
Just in general, the purpose of this review is the person who's gonna drive this car is probably not going to the track. They want to ride around. They want to look good. They want to have a little fun on the street. That's pretty much it.
For that, this car I feel is almost perfect.
Yep.
Like for its purposes, Chevy almost hit it on the head.
It looks amazing. Sounds good. It's got enough power.
Oh, we ain't talked about the sound. Stop everything. Stop everything.
Yeah,
well, we briefly talked about the upshift, but bruh,
the sound is amazing.
We gonna insert some clips here. We got a brief one earlier. Hopefully we can get one more flyby, but even stock, which I have done a fuse pull, so it's a little bit louder than stock, but you don't have to do it. It's awesomeness.
No. And there's very few cars, especially in this time where everything's being cut back on emissions. There are very few cars out right now that you can drive and not need an exhaust.
Yep.
Very few.
Yep.
Like the freaking new M3 sounds awful.
Yep.
The C63s, they sound good, but they do not sound like them old ones did at all. Like everything is they're chopping the balls off everything.
The RS5.
RS5, it's a freaking, what's it, 2.9 liter?
2.9 liter V6.
Come on, man. Like
Twin turbo, right?
They're chopping all the sound out of everything, and in that climate, Chevy is still putting this big, nasty V8, huge V8, 6.2 liters, and a supercharger in their Corvette. And I appreciate Chevy for that.
America. Start waving the flag.
People be screaming about the bald eagles coming out and stuff.
Right.
This has definitely got a whole lot of bald eagles in it.
But it sounds great. As far as sounds, because you remember I was watching Motor Trend, and the skinny dude who ain't there no more, Jason said that this was the best sounding V8 in the world. What you think about that?
Nope.
I'll say this, other than, because I mean obviously all the V8 exotics have a different sound.
Yep.
Whether or not you think it's better is up to you, but I don't think it's necessarily better, it's just different. But other than the freaking F-Type, I think this is the best sounding car. The F-Type got it. I don't think anybody can argue that the
F-Type is, yeah, it can definitely make a strong argument for the best sounding V8. But I mean, my thing is like, when you start talking about the best sounding V8, it becomes so preferential because you've got the E92 M3 that sounds ridiculous. You've got the McLaren has V8s that sound ridiculous. You got Ferrari. I mean, I'm saying, like, you're just talking about the best sounding V8 in the world. I mean, you gotta. I'm just gonna go against all the V8s.
I'm just telling you what he said.
It does sound good. It does sound good. The only thing with it, and I like it, I have a love-hate relationship with the engine in this car. Like, I like it because Chevy stuck to their roots of giving us a big, nasty V8.
Right.
But I kind of wish they would get a little bit more with the times as far as, like, doing something a little different with the engine. Like, it's still a push-ride V8.
Yep.
Like, they're not doing dual overhead cams or none of that stuff. It's still like, you know.
I think, isn't that because they couldn't fit it in though? Because if you notice, the supercharger, like when you pop the hood, the supercharger comes like right here to the top of the hood. Like there was no more space.
Yeah.
So,
but at the price of 110 grand for some of these, they should have figured it out.
I think they got it right. I mean, I don't hear many people complaining.
Oh, no. There's nothing wrong with it. Like I said, it's a love-hate relationship. I love it, but I want Chevy to keep progressing. Like, you know how you have that friend that's doing good, but you know they have a lot of potential, and you want them to keep doing better? That's how I feel about this Corvette. Like, they've proven that they have the potential, but I want them to keep getting better because I want them to knock Porsche off their block. And I love Porsche, but they haven't knocked them off their block yet in anything other than numbers because they don't have the refinement yet. It's not as controlled, and they haven't gotten as technologically advanced as Porsche has with their engines and stuff. They've got really good. The magnetic ride is heavenly, miles above any suspension setup on the planet. Period. Freaking Ferrari decided to use it.
Came down and designed the mag ride.
Ferrari decided to use it.
Jesus himself.
I gotta get this thing some gas.
Went to Bowling Green.
when it does that, it makes me want to get one. Like
especially when it upshifts, when it kicks you in the back of the head.
Yes, and when you nail it, that torque that snatches you every time. Look at that. Look at that. Every time you floor it, it nails you to the back of the seat, bruh. But that just crazy.
It's like there's a little animal back there, like a little elf back there, kicking you upside the head.
It's so
every time you upshift.
And that's the thing. You've heard us talk in this review about little. You heard us talk about this review about little things we don't like, little nitpicky things. None of that stuff matters when you floor it. You don't care about none of that, bruh. And that's the thing. That's the thing about this car. That's why I say I like it more than I want to. Because I hate the fact that it's not as refined. I hate the fact that the interior is not quite where it's supposed to be. But I don't care. When I get in it, I don't care. It's like, bruh, a trick. So when I'm doing 120, I don't know what's the interior. When I'm doing 120, I don't have time to look down at the panel gap. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are like, oh, it's got panel gap. Nigga, I'm doing 205 miles per hour.
Right.
The Civic won't smoke?
Oh,
Civic won't smoke?
A dirty Civic pulling up on, is it that side?
Nah, the cat on the phone, you man on that.
But that is fun. I want to mention that too. Like, the fact that you can just pull up on anything. I pulled up on R8s, Huracans, anything. Literally anything can get smoked.
Yep.
Anything.
Yeah, anything you got a chance against. I mean, because nobody's going to be driving a P1 down the highway. And even then, like, you know, they're probably not going to race you. Or if you get on the gas.
And if you went,
if you get on the gas.
Possibly. Phil.
Gas before them.
P1 got it. But anything other than that.
You think you're on the P1, bro?
You know, just anything, you're gonna be in the race, if not smoking them. And y'all saw what happened to doggone Slim. His Hellcat. What up, tall guy? But you see what happened to the Hellcat.
Yeah.
But
I love the control it has. That mag ride is something serious, dude. It's so planted. Any imperfection in the road. I look, because I do explain it to me one time, and he showed it to me. He let me drive behind somebody with mag ride. You can see the wheel, like, you know how you may hit something in the road, like a little imperfection in the road and a little beat up?
Right.
You can see the tire get smooshed back down to the road. Like, you always have contact with the road. And that's the point of the mag ride, to keep contact with the road at all times, so you always have traction. Like, so if you hit it, you know, if you're coming around a curve, you're not having someone roll or whatever, you're consistently ready to drive the car, which you need to be in this type of power. The mag ride is awesome.
it adjusts itself thousands of times per second.
I think it's like supposedly like scans the road and figures out what it needs to do next. It's pretty advanced. I will say the mag ride cannot be disputed. Like, I respect the fact that companies you think our perfect Corvette would be? Like, what things would you change to make this the perfect car?
The panel gap fits that. Just make the little small tweaks to the interior, just the actual quality of that. I would put a freaking dual clutch in it, and I would maybe have the engine rev a bit higher if it was possible without messing things up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think for me,
can't think of too much.
the interior I would leave looking just like this. But like you said, I would fix little things like the panel gap, and I would use higher quality materials. Like one thing I like about BMW interiors is that they're simple but high quality. I wouldn't want this to look like a Benz on the inside. Like I don't want to get in my Corvette and have like this waterfall thing in the middle. I want it to be simple but quality. So I would change that to higher quality. I'm with you. I'll make it rev a little higher just to give it a little more character. You know what I mean? Just so it's not just another V8. Give it some character. Like I always say with the M3, they shoved a high revving V8 in the car just because they could. I wish they would do a little bit something more with this. Just give it a little bit more character from an engine perspective. Yeah. And last thing I would change. That screen, bro.
You got like
That screen has got to go, bro. That screen is awful. I don't know. We probably show that in the walk around, but I hate the screen in this car. I don't like the quality of it. It's so dull and playful looking.
think you want smoke?
911. Nah, man. That Camaro pulled up on him, man. He like slowed down rapidly. All right, y'all. So that's the review. Cal.
D.
Took a long time.
No, because I was just gonna say real quick. I was just gonna sum it up real quick first.
Okay, go ahead.
So pretty much, just to sum up the review, exterior is great. Not really anything to complain about on the exterior. I don't think there's anything to complain about anywhere on the exterior. Kudos to whoever designed it. Yes. Interior could be a little better. Panel gap. But you know, for the people who are looking at this car,
They probably
young
don't
people,
care.
you don't care. I don't care personally. When you're going 200 miles an hour, you don't care. But it's got all your creature comforts, a lot of features. Start stop, not start stop, but start from a distance, and sound system sounds good and all that. Calvin didn't like the screen, but you know, I feel like everything looks good. The air works great. The air works really great, and interior is great. Red seats, killing it. Performance wise, cannot be touched. LT4 supercharged V8 sounds great, performs great. Can't really ask for much more except for the transmission.
Yeah. But not even the transmission, just the response of the paddle.
Yes, just the response time of the, because the transmission is just fast. But just the response time,
It's kind of dicey there.
yeah, it's kind of sketchy. If we can just work on that Chevy, this would be the perfect car. Oh, tunnel.
See, I can't even floor your car in tunnels and enjoy it because I'm gonna die.
So actually, you can floor it. Like you just ain't got used to it yet. But I've learned how to floor it in tunnels. Remember, because I floored it when me and you was in Avalon, I floored it.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, but you just gotta know how to do it.
I
But
want to die. So.
right. So all in all,
Yeah, like I said, to sum up everything that I've said driving this car, it hits all the points you care about if you're looking for this car. If you're looking for this car, you did not want S-Class interior. You did not want 911 refinement. You wanted crazy fast, looks good, sounds good. And it nails all of those. They don't hit. It gets a 10 on looks, 10 on performance, well, 9 on performance, 10 as far as sound goes.
so to sum it up, I'm gonna ask you 2 questions that I think will tell the viewers, because obviously I already have the car, so y'all already know what I think. But I'm gonna ask you 2 questions that I think will sum up the review.
Okay.
For your money, first of all, because obviously we didn't cover that, but you all probably know, but this car starts out at 80, right at 80 grand. I think it's 79.9. And you know, with options can get up to 110 if you want a convertible, things like that. For your money, Calvin, are you spending the 80, 90 grand on this car?
For my money, knowing me personally, I'm gonna get a 7. I'm gonna get a Cayman S. However, is this car worth 80, 90 grand? Heck yeah, all day. Like, if the Cayman S deal didn't work out, I would just go get a Z06. Simple as that. Like, I like it enough to say that if I went to get a Cayman and they were like BS on the numbers, I would just go get a Z06 and not miss a beat.
Okay.
bruh and just have fun. Simple as that. Nobody buys a Corvette for the refinement anyway. Just go ahead and get the whole 650, bruh, and just enjoy yourself. Personally.
To me, because people make the argument, yeah, I can get a Stingray for 55K and put a 6K blower on it and it'll be the same. It will not be the same. You will not have a warranty, first of all.
Yeah.
And also, me personally, I think that the wider body is worth it in itself.
Yep.
It's a big difference, dog.
Yeah, I wouldn't go no lower than a Grand Sport at least.
You gotta get a Grand Sport at least. Everybody should go and physically look at a Z06, sit beside a Stingray, and then you'll be like, oh. Because the Stingray looks good when it's by itself.
Yep.
Stingrays look amazing if they're spec well.
Right.
Because there are some bad spec Stingrays, first of all.
Yep.
Y'all stop putting silver wheels on them with a brown interior. Stop doing it. But when you actually put a Z06 beside a Stingray, it's like, oh, there's no comparison. So
It's just like when Cat Williams said, your Chrysler 300 look like a Rolls, look like a Phantom until a Phantom pulls up.
Right.
Your C7 Stingray look like the man until a Z06 pulls up.
Right. So to me, that in itself is worth it. At least get the Grand Sport. But I mean, I feel like the extra power is definitely worth it. You have the comfort of a warranty. And yeah, definitely if you're looking at a Stingray, definitely look at least the Grand Sport. If not the Z06. I think it's a great car. Seems like Calvin agrees.
I love it.
So yeah, that's been our
I like it more than I want to like it.
that's been our 2 cents. You're gonna see a lot more of it on the channel. Like I say, obviously it's my car, so we're gonna get very in-depth in it. Any questions y'all have, comment below. Once again, welcome to all the people who came because they saw Tall Guy get smoked. Welcome. Shout out to Tall Guy. And yeah, we're gonna keep it rocking. We got 5 things we love and hate about it. That's gonna come up in a couple days. We got a twin turbo Mustang coming up soon.
Twin turbo S550 Mustang GT. That we're gonna probably get some runs against the Z06 and all that stuff.
So what we need everybody to do, we're gonna wrap it up. But it's D and Cal. Sub below. We're gonna put the little end screen on. You're gonna see the circle with the no-wheel drive. Hit that if you're not subscribed.